Nice step. Good afternoon, everybody. Today we have our 3 Suffolks out plowing. We're using this old Massey Harris plow with a brand new Keystone plow on it that we just fixed up this spring. And we've been having our share of problems with it. But now we finally have most of the bugs worked out of it, and it's starting to work really well. And I'll share some of the problems we've been having with it and what we did to fix those problems and a few other things as we progress through this video.
Jeep, Captain.
So as you just noticed, to lift this plow up out of the plow ground, all you have to do is pull that red rope, and you pull it just a little ways and let go of it, and then the plow will just come right up. It works really good. When I get to across the headlands here and start back down into the next side, all I have to do is pull the string, and the reverse thing happens. It drops the plow into the ground. It's a very slick and simple way to plow. I think this plow is the easiest plow that I have to use because it's just so simple when you go in and out, just pulling the string. So at the end of the video, I'll tell you what way I have my horses set up. But for you guys that have been watching my channel quite a bit, you are getting quite familiar with the names of these horses. I'm going to have you guys guess and even stop the video and put in the comments, what is the order these horses are in from left to right? Now, when I say from left to right, I mean from the driver's seat, starting on my left, going to the right. What are the names of these horses? So I believe I started this plowing about a week ago now in this field. And some of the issues that I was having is, for one, the moldboard wouldn't scour. In other words, as I was plowing, the dirt would stick to the moldboards, so it would not slide off it properly, and this made for very hard pulling. And this happens a lot when you have a new moldboard like this and there's still paint on it. So I had to plow for a while and keep scraping the moldboard clean of the mud, and then eventually it all slid off. You know, it was able to take the paint off. So there was times there was 2 and 3 inches of heavy soil stuck to that moldboard that I had to scrape off. Now, it was wetter soil at the time, and it has dried up since then, so it's got quite a lot better. But the scouring problem was a big issue to start with. I also was having a lot of troubles with plug-ups. Because this is corn ground from picking corn, all the stalks are left in the fields, and I tried to plow it without chopping them up. And that just caused a lot of troubles that got plugged up. And a lot of times, if things are perfect, it will plow under, even with long stalks. But it was causing me trouble. So I took the bush hog and chopped it all up. And that helped some. But I still have some problems because my coulter was too far back. And so it was plugging up between the coulter and the plow. So I changed that around and put the coulter towards further ahead. And then the next problem I was having is it was plugging up because of the trash board on the plow. On the plow, there is another piece of steel that kind of helps roll the dirt over, and that just made it so that it would deflect the soil type of thing, and so the soil didn't slide off as well. So I took that completely off the plow, so that's not on anymore, and that has helped me quite a bit. So it still took a couple days of just coming out for an hour or two, and it was still giving me a lot of troubles. Then he finally, eventually, it got so it's working really nice now.
Oh.
Here I'm just grabbing this rock that I would end up plowing under or plowing partially under, and I threw it on the plow ground so I could easily pick it up when I'm picking stones. Now this is a 14-inch plow, and so the rule of thumb is when you have a 14-inch plow, you only cut 7 inches in depth. If you start cutting deeper than that, it really does not do as good of a job. And I don't care even when it's a 14-inch plow if I only cut 5 inches deep. And a lot of times that's all I was doing. Now yesterday when I was plowing, it was a lot wetter and it was actually going deeper than it is today. But that's okay. This plow does a wonderful job of rolling the soil over no matter what depth you plow it. I can plow even 2 inches thick, deep, and it will still roll the soil over almost all the time. One of the challenges of plowing with this plow, and most plows actually, is on the corners. You tend to cut the corners, and that's why a couple spots there I didn't do as good a job plowing. I actually tried to spread it out a little ways further to try to straighten up my ends. Otherwise, my ends get smaller and smaller. But that's the challenge with especially this type of plow that drags so far behind. It's so easy as you come around the corner to cut it too sharp, and then you end up cutting less soil on the ends, and it's not quite so good. Another issue that horse farmers have, especially when you're using 3 horses, when you come to the ends of the plowing ground, one horse has to, or quite often the tug or the trace will rub really hard on their hind leg when they're turning. And it usually just affects the horses on the 2 outsides. And so even here, as Earl is the one that gets the brunt of the strain on the tug on the corners, he actually wore a pretty bad sore in him. And this happened, I think it was like 2 rounds around I noticed it, and oh my goodness, I had gone back to the barn to do some adjusting on the plows, and I saw that big mark all red. And so I realized that it was probably the lazy strap actually that was doing it. So I disconnected the lazy strap, and you might see that at some point where it's actually hanging there, not holding the tug up. But that apparently was what was doing it, because since then that sore has seemed to healed right over already, and it's just not an issue. But if I hadn't done anything about it, it would have turned into a serious issue. I don't like it when my fields are so wide, and if they are, I usually make several different sections, but this one here is an extra wide one, and I didn't want to change that around, so I do end up having some pretty wide headlands here, so we're just walking around quite a bit of the time, which I don't like. Here also is another observation I've made over the many years of plowing. When I plow in the fall, I hardly ever have any sore shoulder problems. But for some reason, in the spring of the year, when I'm plowing, I end up having some sore shoulders. Now, I haven't had any sore shoulders yet, but I really haven't plowed that much. And I have a fair amount to go, but not that much. But it's something about the side draft of running 3 horses on a 1 bottom plow that causes that sore shoulders. But why in the fall it doesn't seem to bother at all, in the spring it does, I don't know. But fortunately, we don't have that much more plowing to go, so I don't expect I'll have any sore shoulders because I haven't got anything yet, so that's good. So one other issue I'll have to deal with on this field is because of all the trash, and what will happen is I'm plowing everything under fairly nice, but there's still trash there, and if I cultivate it, if I run my spring tooth over it too heavily after I disc it, it will tend to bring up some of that trash, and it's not a big deal. I'm going to seed this down, and some corn stalks sitting on top of the ground when I seed it down is perfectly fine. It happens quite often, and I really don't care. It just does not give me that perfect seeding job. So as you can see on this end of the field, the headlands, which is where we're walking at the end of the field, doesn't give me a lot of room, and we are really close to the electric fence. But fortunately, the horses are doing great to be able to make their way by there without touching the fence. Jeep. Oh. That caps up. So here I have my lovely wife out there filming me and getting her best shots. Yep, Jeep. Okay, guys, so here's the lineup. From the driver's seat, on my left is Earl. In the middle is Duke. And on my right is Baron. Baron is the horse that is in the furrow. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.